Hello, this is Molly Reamer with 30 Days of Goddess and Bridget's Grove with this week's mini ritual for the Creative Spirit Circle. This week I am using our 28th card in the new Earth Runes series. This is an ongoing oracle deck that I am creating this year for our Goddess Magic patrons at Patreon. And then I am also using the Sacred Journey Oracle deck by Linda Fabry. This was a solstice gift this year from Teal, who's such a valuable member of our community, so thanks to Teal for that. And then I'm also using a brief assist from the Everyday Witch Oracle by Deborah Blake. And then a Story Goddess Oracle card honoring our goddess of the month, who is Ariadne. So our Earth Runes card is card 28, the Key, and this is the rune of knowing. It reminds you to unlock your own wisdom, your own power, those things that you carry deep within and that really whisper to you in the dream time, around the edges, in silence, in solitude, and they are the things that you know that only you know, and they're the things that you need that only you can teach yourself about and that you need to trust yourself on. So rune of knowing, unlocking, discovering, unearthing, reclaiming, keeper of the keys, mysteries, wisdom, and messages. So do you feel anything hovering around the edges of your consciousness? I feel like on my own goddess-based path, I really felt the goddess kind of dancing at the edges of my consciousness for many years before she actually came into my life in a more embodied and more practical or present sort of way. I felt her dancing around the edges. So what do you feel dancing around the edges? Interestingly, I'm noticing this card has that look of things dancing around the edges as well. So, and then anyway, what is your own knowing? Do you feel like you can access your own knowing? Do you feel like you have time and space to listen to your own wisdom? What is arising for you? What is rising up from deep inside? What does it feel like to unlock, unearth, and reclaim that you are the keeper of your own keys? And then our card from the Sacred Journey Oracle, surrender to your soul. Oh, that's interesting because this is the rune of knowing and listening to the deep within. So relinquish the illusion of control and let go into love. You have asked and you've prepared for transformation. Now trust your innate wisdom to lead and allow the graceful unfurling of your new form. I feel that for me this year, unfurling or unfolding and arising have been really prominent and dominant themes that are really asking for my attention over and over and over again. Those words and concepts are recurring in imagery, in thoughts, in insight, in intuition, in books, in visions, in messages from oracle cards. It keeps arising. They keep the message of arising and unfolding and unfurling and emerging keeps coming up for me. So this one feels like a really personally relevant message. And so also it reminds me of something that I've kept writing this year, which is like, what is it that you claim you crave and how can you reach out for it? Because many of us have things that we claim to crave, but then when we actually are invited to step in or we're invited to live it, we're invited to claim it, we get scared or resistant or step back. So what is it you claim to crave and can you reach for it? And so then our card from the Everyday Witch Oracle we received, make a move. Well, that's interesting in the context of reaching for what we claim to crave. There they are reaching out for their own magic from the state of flow. So let's see what the little companion guidebook has to say about that card. It is important to keep moving. This is true in the literal sense because the body functions best when it gets a certain amount of exercise. And it's true in a metaphorical sense. If we don't keep moving forward in our lives, the only other choices are to go backwards or to stagnate. My friends and I were just talking about our Ariadne circle about that stagnation versus generativity, like continuing to generate and change and grow and learn versus versus just stagnating and staying in one place. So anyway, I write a lot about stillness and solitude and unlocking our wisdom, but as this book notes, that it's not really a good idea to always stay still. It might work for a while, but it's no more healthy for the spirit than staying still all the time is healthy for the body. So that's kind of an interesting reframe because I crave this stillness, I crave retreat, etc. But the nature, and I've written this before, the nature of life itself, the nature of the body, the nature of being a person is to be in in motion. Like no matter how still we try to be, a whole universe moves inside our cells all the time. Our breath goes in and out, our hearts beat, and yeah, cells unfold and neurons fire, and all kinds of things are taking place inside of our bodies at all times. The nature of life itself is to be in motion. And so then she goes on to note that continuing to grow, change, and learn means moving forward, even if it's just a little bit of a time. At a time. Water is all about change and movement. The only water that isn't moving is stagnant, and usually that's a bad thing, both for the water and for everything that depends on it. Make sure you aren't just sitting still. Get up and do some form of exercise today, whether it's walking, biking, dancing, or even cleaning the house. Think about your goals and aspirations and do one thing, no matter how small, that moves you closer to achieving them. And then she has very practical. This card is a not so subtle hint to get off your butt. Have you been spending a lot of time sitting in one place, maybe in front of the TV or at the computer? Get up, move around, do something, accomplish a task. And are you actively working on creating positive changes and forward movement in your life? I will say sometimes I think we can get sort of trapped a little bit obviously there's a capitalist notion of, constant productivity and growth that just occurs unceasing, which is not healthy, sustainable, or productive, but is like a model that we have in this capitalist world that says we should always be growing and reaching. So we can, sometimes self-improvement can be that way too, like constantly reaching to be better. And sometimes it's okay to sit with what is and to be okay with just what's here. And that's where I come back to the what's arising. So what's arising in this moment, it's not necessarily about trying to be better, but it's about being present for what's here and what's arising and unfolding. So anyway, this card is a card telling us to stop stalling and just do it. Not tomorrow, not next week, now, today. Make a move. So she also suggests a practice using the power of water to help you get moving again. Fill a shallow bowl halfway with water, light a white or blue candle, and face the west if you can. Gaze at the light on the water and think about how the moon goes through its changing phases every month, from dark to full and back again to dark, waxing and waning with the rhythm of the universe. Then think about your life and what you want to achieve. Put your fingers into the water and swirl it around in a clockwise direction. Say, power of water, help me to become less stuck and more fluid. Help me to grow in energy every day, moving purposely toward my goals, drawing on your power and the power of the moon. Help me to move forward in any and all positive ways. Then flick the water on your fingers in the direction of the moon and gaze at the movement of the water in the bowl until you are ready to rejoin the world. So a possible practice for you this week with the power of water and the ebb and flow of the moon. I'm going to end with this little card. And so first we're going to take a peek at what the Ariadne little packet I have. I make these packets every month for the Goddess Guidance Club on Patreon. And so this one is one that I assembled from other printed resources that I've made. And then the Goddess Guidance Club kit has a different card on the back. So anyway, Ariadne card. Word on the back is gentle. So may we be gentle with ourselves as we continue to grow and change. And may we remember that we hold the keys to our own knowing. I cradle myself in the belly of this moment. I just love that. That's a slightly adapted quote slightly adapted concept from Jennifer Loudon, and I just love it. I cradle myself in the belly of this moment. Let us be gentle with ourselves as we grow and change. Let us trust our innate wisdom to lead us into this graceful unfurling. Let us tap in to our own keys of knowing. And then, let's see, 2 practices. Lay a hand across your forehead and the other on the back of your neck. Let your thoughts quiet and your brow smooth. Affirm, I claim my knowing. I swear I had no idea that I'd stuck this card in the pocket in relationship to this rune of knowing. So how perfect is that? I claim my knowing. And another practice, I take a deep breath and settle back into my body, the most reliable way back to the sacred. And that's true. Let's cradle ourselves in the belly of this moment and remember that our bodies are doorways to the sacred, reliable and present and powerful. And then here we go. I am here, and you might say this along with me. I am here, I am whole, I have everything I need within me to live the life I choose. I am here, I am whole, I have everything I need within me to live the life I choose. So this week, may you pay attention to what's unfolding and arising. May you remember that you hold your own keys. May you surrender to your soul, and may you make a move in the direction of your dreams. And may you be gentle with yourself, cradling yourself in the belly of this moment. Thank you so much for being here. Keep living your magic. Bye-bye.